Wonderful. So as we wrap up our final episode of AVIXA TV at ISE, what a better time than to look back and reflect on what an incredible journey and show that this has been. So we are joined and thrilled to be joined by AVIXA's very own Sarah Joyce and CEDIA's Christine DeJoy. So thank you so much for both of you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. What an honor to close the show.
Absolutely.
I hope we fulfill every need you would like.
No pressure at all.
None whatsoever. So we always
Is closing worse than opening? Who knows?
Wonderful. So needless to say, this year's show has been fantastic, as always. There's never a dull moment, right? And you're just consistently seeing so much and experience so many things on the show floor. Can each of you share just a little bit about what some of your favorite things that you've seen, some of the highlights? Christine, I'll start with you first.
Sure. Well, being with CEDIA, I've been spending most of my time so far in Hall 2, so I've been looking at a lot of our members' booths and everything that's been going on there. But one of the really exciting things was yesterday we had our annual meeting, and so we were able to kind of update everybody with our live stream so it could be seen globally as to what the association accomplished last year when we were going with the future. And one of the big things is we were able to highlight that coming soon for our members is our first ever consumer-focused campaign.
Oh, wow.
And that will go out, OTT advertising, all that fun marketing stuff that I could talk about for hours will be happening with it. But also too, there's going to be a toolkit for our members to use so that they can engage consumers in their local communities and have them go to our Finder service to find them. So we're very, very excited about that. And then I have to highlight one of my favorite booths that I went to strictly because it unlocked a core memory for me as a child was actually the Barco booth. As most can tell, I'm from the States with my accent, and if you were a child who grew up in the mid-'80s, that was the first time you went to Disney World, well, the Barco booth has a very Epcot-ish graphic in the background with this color tunnel. So if you've ever gone to, back then it was the Kodak Pavilion, Journey into Imagination, it reminded me right like that, and the core memory was unlocked. So I have to highlight that one. The booth designer for that one, they got it right.
Absolutely. I'm all about nostalgia. I love that. I'm holding it down for the States.
Thank you.
I've been an odd man out lately.
You've got 3 Brits to 2.
We'll switch seats soon. Wonderful. And you, Sarah?
Oh gosh, how at the end of day 3 do you think of highlights? Because there's still so many things that are happening. I think for me, I was at the very first ISE and so many up until now. I always get a temperature check. That's what I take. And it's about the positivity, the confidence that's in the industry, the innovation, and very much I was listening to the other presentations. What I'm loving seeing, and what's so great, Sarah being with us as well, is this broadcast AV convergence, where we're seeing the spaces that used to be in the peripheries, which are absolutely front and center core now, and we're able to provide content, training, and a platform as well for people within that space. And our AV community is learning from the broadcast. And what I love that we've been doing here on the studio and having the virtual production and having somebody as stellar as Sarah doing it is you're giving that complete experience at a show that you wouldn't usually see that. And everybody I've been talking to has been blown away by this experience. So kudos to you all 3 pulling it off, because it's been a tough 3 days, I know.
Thank you very much. And well, a lot of compliments thrown your way. Is that a Sarah thing? Is it like you see each other?
Well, I have to admit, we have had the pleasure of knowing each other we worked together about
a
20
long
years
time.
ago.
Well, thank you very much for your kind words about us 3, but of course the whole team behind the cameras as well. Thank you to all of you. But yeah, it's been a journey.
Yeah, absolutely has. And so with ISE's post-pandemic recovery has been absolutely exceptional, right? Did you ever think we'd be here where we are today in 2025?
Well, I think I certainly know that Mike and the team, way back in the mid-2010s, were doing projections in terms of audience. And of course, huge blip in the pandemic, but their projections, they're absolutely where they expected them to be in terms of audience. Saying that, I don't think we could ever have expected we would have filled the Fira as quickly as we have done, to the point of it almost being not spacebound next year, but there's going to be some creative developments and needing a new hall that's being built in 2027 that online by then is phenomenal. But again, that's success to the team, that's all of the work that they've been doing, but it shows the confidence in the industry, you know, and listening to Brad's interview earlier, they kick off the year here, they then roll out through the rest of our shows and their own during the year. So you very much have a sense at the beginning of 2025 of the confidence in the industry, and that being shown here at ISE.
Yeah. And for myself, I actually started with CEDIA after the pandemic. So for me, I didn't know an ISE before the pandemic. But even starting, this is my third one now, I couldn't have also either predicted like it would grow this much this quickly. It's incredible. I've never seen something like this. You always see a little bit of growth, which is great, but this is like every year it just seems like leaps and bounds. And like you said, it's a good thing they are building that other hall because we're really going to need it year after next. So.
Yeah, and it really is phenomenal because I remember in 2019, before any of the pandemic stuff happened, we were touring the Fira just to sort of get familiar with the ISE, with the CEDIA team as well, and ISE all together, and just looking at these cavernous halls, thinking, we're supposed to fill these.
How are we going to do that?
It's absolutely incredible. I know conversations surrounding trends like AI, sustainability, workforce development were very much top of the agenda last year on the show floor. In your experience in speaking to people this year, how have those conversations developed this year? Where are we with those things?
Well, I know on our side with CEDIA, a lot of the work that we're doing, we're still having the same conversations, but they're deeper this year. There's a little bit more to kind of go off of. Where it was a projection, we're actually seeing things now take shape the way we thought or maybe didn't think. And so that's really kind of what's happening more on our end. And then again, to making our members aware, here's these resources, and these are also two of the things that you should be paying attention to right now. And I think that has been just the biggest, it's not so much of a change, but the change though, part of it being, it's just deeper conversations. It's not going away, it's now the new normal. How do we adapt this, bring it into our business, and then also with our customers?
And I think from my perspective, what we're seeing is those things that last year we were talking about are now content tracks. And they are also products that we're seeing on the floor. So particularly, you know, sustainability, AVIXA has a sustainability advisory group. We've had the full content that's been going on today. We're seeing as well within the Better Booth build program that's going to come in. SAVE, who we work and partner with, have their certification that's happening today. So in only a year, we're seeing material things taking place. ISE also have an initiative whereby if there's materials that people don't want to be taking back with them, these can all be recycled and actually going to be donated through the city as well. So tables, equipment, even to food that's been unopened is all going to be used and fed, put back through the city schemes and systems that they're working with. I think on workforce development, of course, what was very heartfelt for me is something that, you know, we started, the speed matchmaking Fridays is now formalized in the Fast Forward Friday as a core program tomorrow. And last night I met Daniel, who last year was speed matchmaking, one of the students, and was employed by Lang, and here he is back working for Lang this year, 1 year on. It's brilliant. Phenomenal. So that for me is how we continue to build with the universities that we work with across Spain, bringing talent in, having these events, providing a platform for young people to find jobs and careers, but also to the work that we're doing looking at education in schools, CTS curriculum potentially as well, so that we can actually provide school skills across the country that's providing the talented workforce. And on AI, I was blown away by Brian Solis's keynote. I saw you in there, and you've quoted it. Yes,
that absolutely just my mind went click. I'm going to take that
absolutely forward. Because it's been fearful. You know, there's so many things we don't know. Of course, it comes with a lot of caution, and there's you know, legislation, practicalities, but the simple approach to actually look at this as a benefit and look at this in a way that is going to be positively, I hate the word revolutionary because it has such negative context, but a positive way that if we remodel what we do and how we operate through the lens of what AI will bring, this is going to be something that we cannot imagine in only a few years that will bring such advantages. And I'm going to misquote him, but it stuck with me. He said the electric light bulb wasn't invented through the iteration of candles. And what we're doing now, of course, first steps is iteration. We're looking at improvements, efficiencies, gains, those types of things. But we've got to flip it, as you said, Sarah, totally on and look from an end result and work back.
Absolutely.
And the light bulb moment stuck with me.
Yeah.
Well, I think too also, keeping AI in mind with workforce development, the work that both of our groups are doing, incorporating AI in that. And CEDIA Foundation was launched at the end of last year too, is what we're trying to do with our programming and the scholarships that are going to be awarded for those students who are wanting to get into the industry, or also with our certifications, is remind them AI is here, although a lot of them with the age that they are, they already know it's here.
Yes, absolutely.
And they're like, yeah, I've been using it.
They're telling us.
Some of that is already resolved for us, but that's also too something that I think both of our organizations are going to deal with too.
Yes, and our respective organizations and respective foundations in that focus. Yes.
Good stuff. Well, that's it. You've closed out the show successfully. It's live TV and nothing's gone wrong at all. So thank you very much indeed for joining us, and we wish you all the best for the final day of the show tomorrow.
Thank you.
And we look forward to next year's wrap-up when we'll get you back and talk about everything 2026.
Delighted.
The annual tradition.
Congratulations to you and to everybody. It's been stellar.
Thank you very much indeed.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Well, what an incredible show it has been. As Ben said, no issues, no technical difficulties. Everything ran perfectly.
Everything went to plan.
Seamless.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all nothing.
In addition to that, it was packed also with inspiring conversations and wonderful industry insights. A huge thank you to all of our guests, and a very special thank you to our partners Ross, Shure, Forecast, and Barco. And of course, thanks to all of you for watching our fun and fabulous live stream this week. So on behalf of myself, Ben, and Sarah, we're signing off, and we'll see you at InfoComm 2025 in June in Orlando, Florida.